Good morning, good morning. It's Sunday morning, and it's time for the Newness of Life Christian Center broadcast to be on, streaming on Facebook Live. We are excited this morning to be with you. I am Pastor Reesie Sharpe, and in the stead of Bishop Van Sharpe, he's right here beside me, near me. Nothing's wrong. He's just allowing me to share with you for the last couple of Sundays, last Sunday and this Sunday. So we want you to call someone, text someone, share this program, hit your like button so that someone else can be informed this morning, because we're teaching on organization and budgeting for your more season. So we want you to let someone else know about this program. A shout out to Newness of Life Christian Center. My church family, thank you so much for your attendance this morning. If you don't see some of your people down there, call them, tell them to get up. You overslept. The broadcast is on this morning. So let's get started. Everyone tuning in, we appreciate you. If you're not a part of Newness of Life, we thank you for taking out time to want to share with us this morning your time and be informed of some things this morning. We're not all knowing, but what we know, we appreciate being able to share with you. So to those that are a part of the Facebook family, we thank you so much. All the watch parties that are with us this morning, thank you so much for tuning in. All right. So again, hit that like button. We're going to give you a few seconds to chime on and hit your share button. Always, either when Bishop and I are ministering, hit that button, that bell, or whatever you're watching. Maybe you're watching on YouTube, so that you can know every time we come on, so you won't miss any of these programs. This is my last airing today, so I'm going to probably rush a lot of things and share with you some of the things I want to share, but because I don't have the setup so that you can actually see everything, I'm not able to do that. But hopefully I'm going to cover some things, and if you have some questions, maybe you can put those down there and I'll try to get back with you to share with you. Okay? So again, we're going to be sharing organization and budgeting for your more season. Some of the things I shared with you on last week, I'm hopefully not going to hit those too much because I want to get into some new information. And I looked through all of my stuff this morning. I know I'm not going to be able to cover everything, because budgeting and organizational teaching takes a lot of time and a lot of hours. If you're just doing it an hour, 15 minutes on Sundays, it takes a few months. But if you had a week or something, or a longer time, you wouldn't, take as long. But it's an ongoing thing that every church needs. It needs to have it, just like you have new converts class. It needs to have a financial teaching in its curriculum of teachings that it has, to make sure that we stay on top, because you can be on top 1 minute with finances and make the wrong decisions and then just be in a mess. Okay? So we often tell you, we told you last week that we can't save you from 2020. This year, possibly, like many of us, me included, when I'm teaching this, I'm listening to the Holy Spirit too. We may have made some wrong decisions. Some better choices could have been made with our finances, but we didn't. So in 2020, we only have about maybe 2.5 weeks. 2.5 months, 2.5 months, if that, left. So don't focus on that. Only thing I'm trying to get you to do now is get ready to walk into 2021 with better decisions, with a different mindset, with an excitement about we're going to change the way we're spending money. We're going to find our money. We're going to make better decisions. We're going to find that hidden money that we've been allowing to just walk out of our lives and fly out the door. And we're going to save and do better. A lot of bills that are in our lives, expenses that we have, we're determined to get them out and stay out and not come back anymore, so that we can live on a different level. You want to be on the level, I told you last week, that either you're in a certain position, you're either in the position of having expenses and budgeting to get those expenses and debts out of your life, out of your life, or you're in a position of budgeting to save. Those are the two places you should actually be in. Even people who have what they think is a lot of money, and even if you have a certain amount of money you think it's a good amount, there's always someone else that has more than you have, and they think that amount that you have measures up to nothing. But you want to get in the land of plenty. You want to get in the land of blessings, that you have more than enough to take care of your family and you and everything you need. And then you want to be able to be in a position of blessing someone else. Now, when I talk about blessing someone else, I don't mean just giving your finances to anyone. I don't believe in giving or allowing our money to go out to people who don't tithe, because people who don't tithe, people who don't tithe are actually stealing from God. And we always say, if you steal from God, then you'll steal from us. And a non-tither is never going to be on top. They're always going to be struggling. They're always going to be in want, because you're taking from the system that God has set up for you, of giving 1/10 of all your increase to God, so that he can open the windows of heaven and pour out blessings, that he can open doors that men have shut. God can open them up and just make ways. Certain things you won't have to pay for, certain things you won't even have to deal with financially, because God allowed people and other ways to be open in your life. So we want you to know that we're trying to get you to that land. And even if you think you're in that land, there's another level to go to, because even if you think you have so much money and you got your bills taken care of and this or that, you're always going to be in a position where you have to depend on God, and you're going to have to trust God. So you're never going to get to that point where, oh, I have all the money I need and everything's paid off and I'm sitting nice and stuff. You're always going to be in a position to trust God, because you want to be in a position also to be a blessing to other people. And when you give out to other people, you're expecting finances to come back in. Amen. All right. Now, again, we're trying to set you up for 2021. Did you make it through Amazon Prime? Did you make it through Amazon Prime? I did. I told you all Amazon Prime was coming, those sales that they always had. I think it was the 13th and the 14th. And they had all these sales. I watched it. I've got enough restraint to do that. And if you didn't have enough restraint, I told you don't even get up there. But I had enough restraint to get up there and watch them. This is a little trick that I use on myself. I'm a QVC. I'm a HSN shopper. A lot of times I don't like to shop out in the stores. If I need something, then sometimes I'll look up there and they'll have these things that I like, because I trust them if you don't like something, you can send it back without a problem. So the trick that I use for them and any other people, merchants and even Amazon, I looked up there and I saw some things that I wanted, and I said, okay, what I'll do is, and this is what I do, I put it in the cart. This is a good trick to do. I always put it in the cart to hold it, and it'll hold it for so many days, or then it'll just cancel it out, or you can cancel it out. But I always put the items that I think that I want, possibly need, and go through all that in the cart and just let it sit there. Then I'll go through my house and try to find, do I have something similar to that? Do I have something that can do just what that's doing? Or do I have that actual item in my house? Because a lot of times we purchase things and you don't even know what you have unless you organize it and find out what you need. Even clothes. A lot of times you buy clothes and you'll go back, and they always tell you, put light colors together. Put all your blue blouses with designs of blue and this and that. Put all the reds together. Put all this together so you'll know what you have. Otherwise, you'll keep buying the same items. So what I do is put those items in the cart, and then I'll just let them sit there, and I'll say, do I really need that? Then I'll go back and research the item and see what kind of reviews are on the item and find out if it really works. People having problems with it, And then I'll go back and say, let me just delete that. And that's what I did with Prime. I looked at it. It has some nice sales now. Some things that I wanted with these eyes. I tell you about the lust of the eyes and the pride of life. The eyes are never, lust of the flesh, the eyes are never satisfied. Things that you just desire because you can have it. And a lot of times people always say, well, if you don't have the finances, then you're in a particular state. Well, when you do have the finances and have the availability and can purchase it, you have to be careful also, because you have to decide then, do I really need this, or does my eyes just want it? So I saw some things that my eyes just wanted. And I was like, oh, wow, this is a good sale. But why do I need it? I have maybe 3 or 4. And it's like, oh, it's so cheap. And blah, blah, blah. So I put it in the cart. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll bless somebody else with it. But they don't need it either. So I went through all those talking to myself. Husband didn't know anything about that. He didn't know nothing about Prime or concerned with any of that. But what I did was I put it there and then I deleted it. So that's a good trick to play with yourself. Sometimes when you think you got to order something or trying to make a decision, just go and put it in the cart. And then give yourself some time, step back, see what you have to take care of, see if you really need that particular item, and then decide, okay, I really need to just delete that because I don't really need that. Amen. Okay, hopefully a lot of you chimed on now. I can't really see you. Bishop can see you. I'll see you when I view the program afterwards and stuff, and see what you're saying. Give me some comments down there and tell me if you made it through Prime Day, if you made it through and didn't order anything. Now we're trying to get you to make it through Thanksgiving and Christmas. Why am I saying Thanksgiving? Because Thanksgiving, if you're hosting Thanksgiving or you're hosting Christmas, it takes, if you're doing that, during the pandemic, you got to work some different things. But probably last year and the years before, you may have tried to host things and pay for everything. And when you're hosting a Thanksgiving or a Christmas event, you got 15, 20, 25 people at your house. It takes a lot of money to do that because you're having all those people and everybody's not eating a little bit. They're eating a lot because your food is good. Right, y'all? So, and they're eating, and it takes a lot of money to do that. And if you haven't planned for that, then it's going to cost you later. After everybody's gone, everybody's full, everybody's lying down and enjoying themselves, you're going to go back and see at the beginning of the week that, hey, well, I made some bad choices here because I tried to do all this, not to really impress people, but just to be a blessing to them. But I really wasn't prepared for it. Now, if you prepare for it, there's nothing wrong with that. And I know sometimes you can, which is a good wisdom if you like to do that, allow people to bring different dishes. And that way it won't put the load totally on you. Okay. So we're trying to get you through Thanksgiving and now trying to get you through Christmas and get you set up for the new year. You should be excited. You should be excited. Budgeting, saving money. You see behind me the banks and all this stuff that we gave you as tools last week. You should be excited about going into the new year with a different mindset, a different attitude about money and how you're going to direct your money and where it should go. And we're going to just run through those. But get excited. Don't be stressed out about your finances, the mistakes you made. Don't worry about any of that. You can change none of that. But you can change how you walk into 2020. All right. So again, I'm going to try to move quickly, talking about organization. Now, when we say organize, we went through and said that organize is to make arrangements or prepare, making preparations for your money. Even with your house, you have to organize to keep your house straight and where things are and where things should be. Even in your own private life, organization needs to take place, and we're going to cover that. But organizing is just making arrangements. Since we're talking about budgeting, it's making arrangements for your money. It's making preparation, where it should go, where direction is it going in. I'm not just going to get my check and just put it in the bank and then just take my card and whatever I feel like doing after I pay a bill or two, and the rest of it, I don't know. I just feel like going here and I feel like going there and swiping my card. Now, when you're talking about planning to do a budget, it takes arranging where you want your money to go, and that takes a system. Budgeting is a systematic way of spending your money. Okay, it's a system, but you have to set that system up. Now, what I'm sharing with you and the different things I'm showing you, you may not want to do that, but whatever works for you. But you do have to do something. Let me tell you that. Don't just assume or listen and take in information and not do anything with it. You do have to do something. Whatever you want to set up, how you want to get your banks and how you want to set your envelope system up, even if that works for you, if it doesn't, but do something. Make sure you do something. Okay. So when you're talking about planning for a budget, it's taking arranging and telling your finances where it needs to go. Now, a question for you. When you got paid and you said your whole check, you said your whole check went to pay rent. You told me that. You told somebody that. You complained at your house about that, or you kept ringing it over and over to yourself. And you say, I paid rent and the whole check went there. Why is that? Okay, this is part of your budgeting aspect. Why is that? Well, the answer is because if you get paid every 2 weeks, the rent wasn't due 2 weeks ago, right? So what you did, maybe 2 weeks ago, you paid maybe the cable and the telephone bill, or you paid the cable and the light bill, but it wasn't the rent. So that means you had some extra money left over 2 weeks ago before the rent. So better yet, if you took your whole check, why are you now out with the guys or out with the girls? Well, you say I paid my rent. I did my thing. I did what I was supposed to do. I took care of my rent. I took care of my mortgage. But why are you out with the girls or the guys if you said that it took your whole check and now you don't have anything? That's because while you take your check and take care of what you call taking care of business, and you decide to go to the movies, or you decide to go out to dinner, or you decide to go having some kind of entertainment. Sometimes it's a person trying to have, excuse me. Sometimes people are trying to have gratification for themselves. They've done what they're supposed to do, and now you're trying to get some kind of gratification, or maybe you're feeling bad because you don't have anything left, but you're determined to have some fun. You're determined not to be sad or be lonely. So you're determined that I'm going to have some fun and I'm going to do something. I'm going out and I'm going to celebrate with the guys or the girls and just have a good time. But what you're actually doing is what I call using with your credit cards or some other source that you don't really have. I call it false power. Newness Life always hears me say that you're using something that's giving you false power. You think you have the authority and the power and the ability to pay for wherever you're going, pay for the movies, pay for whatever you're doing, and you really don't. And a credit card, if you're not using it right, can give you a sense of false power, thinking that I can do whatever. And you can do a lot of things with the cards, but you're going to pay for it later. And you have to realize that, hey, when I'm getting ready to budget, when I'm getting ready to set up for the new year, when I'm getting ready to change my way of spending, when I get ready to eliminate some expenses that I have, I'm going to have to put the credit card away. I'm going to have to put it to the side. I'm going to have to, now don't, if you decide to cut a credit card up, please don't close the account out, because what you've done is you have, maybe you're a person that have used credit cards and have built up a credit history. And maybe you paid on time and you've done good. You just paying minimum balance and you can't get out of that rut because you're just paying a minimum balance and the credit card is so high. What you've done is you've paid on time, you've paid a minimum balance of that, but you haven't paid it off, but you've built up a credit history. Do not cancel your cards out. Do not go cut up your cards and get all excited and then cancel the account, because what you're doing is when you cancel your account, you wipe out the total history. Okay, maybe you knew that, or maybe you didn't, but you cancel your whole history. All the years that you had Capital One, all the years that you've had Sears, all the years that you've had these credit cards with these companies, you cancel everything out because your history goes away. So you don't want to do that. Your history stays if you put the credit card away or if you don't use it. Now, they're going about now. I looked at my credit FICO score and everything a couple of weeks ago, and knowing that I had a high score, way up almost to 9 something. And I'm like, how come I can't reach 9? I'm like 80, 70 and giving me all these numbers and stuff. And I'm like, why can't I hit this number? Why can't the family hit this number? And if you study more or research it more, you'll see, and they'll give you answers that if you, the reason why your score hasn't gone up to this or that is because you don't have any loans open, because you haven't purchased a large purchase, because you haven't opened a new credit card. All these things that I don't want to do and don't intend to do. Now, what you can do to eliminate that and allow your credit to keep going up is you can take a card that you're not using, haven't used for a while. I even tried to check my FICO score on one card that I've got a high balance on, but I'm not using. And it said it couldn't give me the FICO score because I haven't purchased anything on it yet in a while. So what you can do with that is take the card that you're not really using and just purchase something small and let it go for 30 days and pay it off once the bill comes in, and it'll keep it active going and your credit history can keep going. I know a lot of times people tell you, and I'm not teaching that because I don't believe that. If you can put down there on the screen that is true and prove to me that it's true, then I'll receive that too. But they always tell you get to a point where you're using cash only. In this system that we're in, paying cash only is not going to cut it. You can pay cash for a lot of things if you desire to do that, but eventually you're going to have to use your credit card. You're going to have to purchase with a hotel. They don't tell you, okay, you want to make a reservation and you want to go here or there, and you want to be there by Friday, you want to stay over the weekend or what have you. They don't say send your cash in. And you're not going to drive 2 or 3 hours to pay cash and then come all the way home, right? So they tell you that you're going to have to put a credit card on file, right? So you're going to have certain things that you do. It's going to be according to your credit and what your credit score is. And when you purchase different things, your light bill, your purchase of a car, different things that you do depends on sometimes what your FICO score is, what your credit card score is. So you want to get in a place where your score is 5 something. I don't even know if it can go below that. I don't even look at that. I just know when it's 5 something, don't get satisfied with that. Even 6 something, don't get satisfied with that. You want to keep going till you get up in the 7s and hit 8s and then keep going. So you're trying to get in that position. So if you want to pay cash, that's fine. But if you don't, realize that you're not trying to eliminate credit at all, so you can just be a cash only person, because that will lower your credit score, and then certain things you want to do that you can't do because it takes credit. Okay? All right. So why are you in a state? The question was, why are you saying that you paid your bills and now you don't have anything? And it's because you made bad decisions 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, when you had another check that didn't require a large bill, and this is a mistake people make. 2 weeks ago, you should have taken that check that you got. Okay, you had the utility bill and your cable bill to take care of, but where's the other money that's left over? That's why we say you have to organize and you have to budget to know where the extra money is that should go from this 2 weeks to this 2 weeks, where your rent or your mortgage is, or your larger bill or your car payment. You've got to make sure that the extra money that you had left over goes over to the other bill that you need. And we're going to try to cover that today. And if I don't get to it, just listen at what I'm saying, go back. And then when you start to research how you want to set up your budget, then you can know to add all that together. Okay? Now, when we're talking about different tools, we talked about different tools. I'm going to run through that real quick. We told you about you need to get a physical calendar. Now, I can't work with a physical calendar because I move too much and I change bags too much and purses too much and brief totes too much and bags and all this stuff. And I change often. It just depends on what I'm taking. So that doesn't work for me, but it may work for you. So if you're a person that uses a calendar, and this is the book, but just have the calendar with you all the time, something small that you can tote in your purse all the time and carry it with you. Every time you switch something, then you take that particular calendar with you and write down everything you need to do. I'm a person, I use my cell phone, the calendar on my cell phone. I found a calendar, the other day that most of the time when you download calendars, it'll suck in all your information from the previous calendar. But this one didn't do it. So you can find calendars that can just deal with your bills, just deal with your appointments, just deal with different things that have the alarms up there, and it tells you where you're going, who you need to meet with next, when the child's appointment is for the school, because with this virtual learning, everything's going on. You can alert yourself weeks, months. I have things that I have on the calendar for next year. I have things that I put on the calendar for now that I want to do even next year and another year, and it'll just fix it. So next year I won't have to set it up because it's already set up. It'll alert you about appointments. Like I said, it'll alert you about cutting your lights off so you won't leave lights on in the garage. It'll alert you about reminders of bills, and that's especially important about the bills. Now, I said if you admit that you are a busy person, you have a lot on your plate, you must prioritize. Now, you must organize in order to prioritize. Notice how that rhymes. Organize, prioritize, right, Bishop? You must. I like to keep it light when I'm teaching finances, even in church. I smile a lot, I laugh a lot and everything because I don't want it to be so serious. And I see some people teach it so serious, it almost scares you. But there's no need, anything that you fear, you're going to pull away from. Anything that you're scared of, people tell you, face it, go to it. But you scared me about it. So I always try to keep it light. Don't get all stressed out about it. Find out what works for you. Start enjoying it and work with it. So you've got to organize and prioritize, okay? So things have to be done. You have bills to pay. A certain deadline has to be met. then you must make arrangements and preparations for that. Okay. So if you know you need all of that, and I'm sorry, I'm doing that. I think that air yesterday changed and got to me a little bit. But if you need things and have to do things and have to go places and do things, you're going to have to organize. But also you've got to prioritize those things. Now, if you do not make arrangements for the most important things, that's the thing that's next. And then the next after that, people or other things will come in and try to make their situations more important. You know what I'm saying? You have a life, you have things on your plate, and your things are important too. But if you don't schedule, prioritize, and organize things, when other people come into your life, they'll make their situations, like Bishop said, I forget the quote that he quoted about why should your situation cause it to be an emergency in me. I can't remember the exact quote, but it was saying about why is your situation become an emergency for me? Why do I have to turn my life around? Why do I have to rearrange my schedule? Why do I have to change everything to accommodate you? And you making it like it's so important. My life, what I have on schedule is important too. So your relatives, your uncles, your aunts, your brothers and sisters, your relatives or your immediate family, your children, your spouse, and your mother and father, all those people can come in and allow what you have already set up to be none effect. They say, I need to go here. You know, people tell you about, I need to be here. I need to go there. I need you to take me here. I need to be there. I need to do this and that. So it takes organization of your schedule to be able to say no. Y'all hear what I'm saying? To be able to say no. But if you haven't scheduled your time, then you'll just say, yes, I'll take you, because your heart is just so good. Yes, I'll be there. Yes, I'll watch the kids. Yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do this. And you hate to say no, and you say yes, not realizing that because you said yes, now you've got to change things around. Now you've got to change appointments around. Now you've got to do different things because you may miss something trying to help everybody else. Okay. So it takes estimating your time. If you don't, you allow people and things to throw you off, and it'll throw you off possibly money wise. So you as a busy person, you need to schedule your day. When you every day, like today or tomorrow is coming. Today is here. Tomorrow is coming. And you have to schedule your time. You have to schedule what you're going to do for the next day. Don't just get up and say, Lord, I thank you for this day, and you have no idea what you're going to do. Even if you have a lot of time on your hands, you need to schedule and find out how to keep yourself busy. Otherwise, you're going to fall into something that you should not fall into. People who are home and don't have a job and just at home all day, the children in school, or you have nothing to do, fall into a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be falling into. You may fall back into watching the stories that you shouldn't be watching. You may fall into getting on that phone, running your mouth and talking about people and talking about nothing. And you can sit around eating because you have nothing to do. So why are you complaining about gaining weight if you're not doing anything but sitting around watching TV and not doing anything with your time? So when you get up for tomorrow, tonight, you need to schedule your time for tomorrow. So if someone comes in to interrupt your schedule, interrupt your time, or ask you to do something, it's nothing wrong with helping people. But you have to realize, sometimes people say to me, I need a favor, or I need you to do something. Can you do it? And I'll say, it depends on what it is. I'm never going to say yes. Oh, sure. What you need? What you need? What's happening? What's going on? You know, they might ask you for $1,000. You know, open your mouth and say, oh, yeah, I do it. What you need? What you need? Trying to act big and bad. You need to pull back and say, it just depends on what you asking me to do. Well, I need to borrow some money, da. Well, you actually know. You just told me. You paid your rent. You don't have any money. Or you may have bills that you got set aside and money set aside, and it's your utility money, or it may be your car payment. Well, you can't give money that doesn't belong to you. Do you realize your car payment, utility bill, your K bill, all of that stuff, that's money that does not belong to you. It belongs to those merchants or companies that you owe. It does not belong to you, and you can't take it and just disperse it out, hoping that people will pay you back. If you give out money, as he covered before, if you give out money to people, they're borrowing money from you. If you cannot allow them to have that money and not pay it back, then you gave out money that did not belong to you, and you were in a position that if it doesn't come back, you're all out of sort. you're all upset and it causes confusion between you and that person. So please don't do that. All right?
It says you cannot let other people's situation become your emergency.
Okay. You can't let other people, he's reading the quote that he taught in Big Dreams and Budgeting for Your More Season. If you didn't catch that, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, all 10 episodes, I think it was. You can go back and listen to those potent information that you can dig into with statistics, and he just gave you a lot of quotes and all this stuff and a lot of scriptures and a lot of stuff that I don't have to teach because he already did that. So you can go back and dig into that. But why should I let your emergency be, say it again?
You cannot let other people's situations,
become your emergency. So stop feeling bad when you tell people no. Stop feeling bad when your child tells you, I have to have so-and-so for school, and then so-and-so, and it's got to be in by so-and-so. And you're telling me the night before. Now you want me to try to go into my funds and and now you just reaching in your pocket. How much is it? Reaching in there, well, it's $125 now, and then it's so-and-so, and you're reaching in your pocket, getting it out. First of all, why is money in your pocket like that? Why is money just in your pocket that you could just go in your pocket, pull it out? I don't care if it's in a clip or what. If you have money in your pocket, it's not showing how big and bad you are. It's not showing that you have a lot of money. This system, how we operate now, people don't even spend cash that much in just luxury things, or when they're going through the grocery store, or when they carry credit cards, okay? Or they carry, like in the cash envelope system, you carry your envelopes with you, your grocery envelope. I know some of you excited about getting into that, but you carry that particular envelope that you need, or your gas envelope, but they usually don't use. So when you pulling out money from a money clip, that doesn't impress me. It lets me know you have no idea where your cash is going. Because you're going to walk in Walmart, or you're going to walk in Sam's Club, or you're going to walk somewhere and see something that you want, and you got your money clip or you got your wallet with you loaded with money with no idea where it's going to walk to, because money walks and it keeps going. So it's going to walk. And then when you get home, you're going to think so much is in your clip, or you're going to, because you went to so many stores and did different things, and you kept pulling out from this clip, or pulling out from this water money, or pulling out from your wallet or your purse or whatever. So it does not impress me if you have a lot of money on your person, because you haven't given direction to that. You're only going to carry a certain amount if you're dealing with cash anyway. And if you're dealing with your card or whatever, that's going to slow you back, because you've got to keep a record of that in your register. And let me stop right there. If you're not keeping a register of your finances, where it's going, that's a mistake too. How are you keeping up with what's in your account so you won't do an overdraft if you're not writing it down? Stop being lazy in the area. Now, I didn't say you're a lazy person, but you can be lazy in a certain area. Okay? You can be lazy, and you got to admit, I'm lazy in that area. I don't do well in that. Be honest with yourself. Talk to yourself. You got good points, but then you got some bad points. I got some good points, but then I got some bad points. I might be good in teaching this, but some other areas I might have to sharpen myself up on. Sure, I do. Everybody's going to another level. Nobody's perfect. If you had a fall in this area, then all you got to do is change some things, and you can come right back up. But this is very important. Finances are very important. And when you're teaching Christians, you can't separate finances and separate your spiritual life from that, because they go together. God even told us that, how have you robbed me, in Malachi, in tithes and offerings. He called you a thief and a robber. If you're still in tithes, you've got to get that straight. There is nothing you're going to accomplish like you could. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to be able to do some things, but because the devil allow you to keep going and messing with you, and keep letting you do a few things to make you think you're prospering, get a little car, do a little things that you can do, but you will never be on top where God wants you to be if you steal tithes. Listen to what I'm saying. If you listening out there, if you listening and you do it, but you need to share with somebody else. Stop giving your money and trying to get people out of situations when you know they're not tithers. They don't even come to church. How are they going to tithe? They don't never come to church. Let me say that, unless you're in a situation where you're working and then you send your tithes in. But most of the time, if they're not coming, they're not tithing. So they're not hearing the word to cause faith to come about. Because in order to tithe, it takes faith to tithe. Because you're trusting God. So it takes faith. And faith come by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So you don't have the preacher That was shaking a little bit. If you don't have the preacher preaching to you and causing faith to arise in you, then you're going to pull back on tithing for a little bit. And you cannot tithe every so often. You're still a thief. You're still a robber. I didn't call you that. God calls you that. So you're locking his hands. His hands are tied because he can't open up and he can't bless you like he wants to because you're taking a tenth that belongs to him. And then he didn't say just tithes. I have some people that I know that they give tithes faithfully. I had somebody the other day, they gave tithes faithfully, but I'm like, okay, where are you offering it? I see you marked the envelope tithe. Where was your offering? You can give $300, $400. You can give $90. That means you had $900. You can't give God $10 or $20 as an offering. So he said, you robbed me in tithes and offering. So get that back on track. Start being a tither. If you didn't do it this year, get back on track. And sometimes, let me share with you, you're not fooling your pastors. You're not fooling the finance team. You're not fooling your church when you do it sometimes and then you don't do it other times. What you're doing is trying to fool God into blessing you or blessing your business. And then because something's going wrong, you start tithing. So you think you're fooling us. Well, people see your record. Maybe they are fooled. Some people don't care. They just do records and keep going. But you're not fooling the most important person. And that's God. He knows your heart. He knew you were just trying to fool him into thinking that, hey, I'm tithing, God. I'm doing right. I'm doing right. So then when a situation comes, then you stop tithing. Well, God already knew you were just trying to fool him at first anyway. And they hadn't done anything. Of course, you did the tithe and that was good. But then you stopped because things got tight. You tithe by faith and you do it because it's the right thing to do. And God is only asking for a tenth out of every $10 you make. God is only asking for $1 out of that. Come on, we can do that. Then we go to restaurants and the people are nice to us and we tip them $5. How dare you give a waitress, and they deserve to be tipped, how dare you give them $5 and you didn't give God anything? How dare you come into church and listen at the service and get up and walk out and didn't even do an offering? Every time you come in the presence of a ministry and have a service, the offering needs to be taken up. And sometimes we've seen pastors that say, hey, we don't do that during the week. Your Bible study, you don't take up an offering. The preacher's there to feed you. There's meat in the house and you don't take up any kind of offering. Well, the people don't have. Yes, the people do, because if you followed them home, if you followed them before they got back to their house, you say, hey, I tried to call you and nobody was there. Well, we stopped by McDonald's. Well, we stopped by Wendy's. Well, we stopped by Popeyes. Have you priced those items at Popeyes? Nothing wrong with that. But have you priced a sandwich and you want the drink and the fries? Have you priced that $7 on up? But you said you didn't have any money. That's why you got up and walked on out the church without doing an offering. But you did have it. So we need to be honest. Nothing that I can say, nothing that you can pull up on YouTube or any teaching, nothing that you can hear Bishop say that can correct other areas in your life until you get that straight. No oil can be poured on you to get a blessing. You getting put out your house, your car getting ready to be possessed. Nothing can help you unless you get that straight. And I'm just telling you straight out. You can listen at this and play it 20 times. No increase for your more season is coming until you get that right. You have got to get that right. So God knows that you were just trying to fool him. So you've got to organize. I'm going back to it. You got to organize your life. And if you don't allow people, they will come in and cause confusion. It'll cause hurt feelings because you couldn't say no to them. You said yes, or you and then you did something and it caused confusion. Then you don't want to talk to them. You don't want to answer the phone because they got you in a position. OK, some people treat you like that and you don't want that confusion to take place. So look at the screen and tell me whether you're going to get organized even tomorrow. You're going to get your schedules right tomorrow. Right? You're going to get your day right. You've got to know what kind of time you have. Get your schedules right. Your bill paying. You're going to sit down, schedule your bills for the week, for the month, whatever you have to do. And time so you can pay your bills on time or before time. Now, this is very important. I told you last time you have to schedule your bills 5 to 7 days ahead of time. Put them in the mail because you are wanting to get your bills there. How the pandemic is now, looking at the time, how the pandemic is going now. Things are slowed down. Mail is starting to be slower now because the numbers are rising and things are going on. And People are needing supplies and different things. So the schedule of mail is getting slower, but you still 5 to 7 days because it has to get in the building where it's going, and then it has to be processed. If not, how do I know? Because I've gotten things back and thought I had it in the mail on time, and it wasn't on time because it got there. I mailed it. I thought it was a good time, but you can't control the mail. So you have to make sure that you get it 5 to 7 days ahead of time, especially when you're dealing with the weekend and you think your mail, I mailed it on Wednesday and it didn't get there to Monday. Well, it got there Monday, but it was due on Friday and you mailed it on Wednesday. You don't have a helicopter, taking your mail personally from you to there, getting there. So it's got to go through process, and then it's got to be processed when it gets there. So you want to make sure that you do that ahead of time, okay? So your bills are not late. You need to pay bills before time. You're going to get, I believe you, I believe this word and this teaching is going to fall, even though I don't finish everything. The information I'm giving you, some people haven't heard it. And I hope Newness of Life, because you may have heard me teach it, you're not getting familiar and say, oh, yeah, I've heard that. It's reminding me of this. Or I'm glad you're teaching that because it's a good teaching. And, just saying things like that. I'm hoping that you're not so familiar with it that even if you've been doing some things, you should have heard something in here that's causing you to go to another level. Find out what I'm not doing, or find out if I need to do better at it. Just don't listen to it and say, okay, I've heard that before. He that know it to do, scripture says, and don't do it, to him it is sin. Bishop's going to find that scripture for me because Teresa's working today. But the scripture says, he that, if you know to do, and you don't do it, then it becomes a sin. If you know to tithe, you've been taught from the very onset of you being saved. You talking about you've been saved 20 years. If you know to do and you don't do it, it becomes sin. And you know that God is not in relationship with you when sin is involved. You've got to cut sin out of your life. You've got to work on it if there's a struggle in your life. Not that he doesn't love you, but you cause a stopping point, or you cause a pausing in your own life when you know to do something and you don't do it. It becomes sin to you. So to estimate, we said to estimate losing mail, and that's a big, I gave you an example of that, how I lost mail and how I had to pay double almost for the fee that was there, and it caused a lot of confusion. A lot of times people are putting mail in a stack somewhere when it comes in. You got one stack over here for the mail that comes in. It's falling all over the floor. I know you're there. Just say amen, and then we won't know it's you. You disagreeing with me, but you really saying amen because maybe you're the person. You got another pile over here that you paid the bill and the receipts over here. Then you got another pile over here that the children got and they crayons on it and they playing with it. And it's just a mess. Then when you need something, you said, I'm looking for it. I know I got it. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Mother Brown, I always remember the encouragement she gave me. She's gone on to be with the Lord now. One of our beautiful mothers that have been with us from onset of ministry. And if you're watching some of the telecasts during the week now, you'll see her up on some of the programs. Bishop goes back and bring out some of the old ones, her and Brother Whitaker. But Mother Brown told me when I was doing a budget teaching one time, and she said, I'm so glad you told us about, which I've got that, I don't know if I'm going to get to it or not, but you told us about keeping receipts and putting them in a place where you can find them. And she said someone had come by the house, a bill person had come by the house and said that 2 or 3 months ago that she hadn't paid something. She said, Pastor Reesie. She would always say, yeah, Pastor Reesie, Pastor Reesie, Pastor Reesie. That's what she would say. I miss it so much. So she would say that, and you would have to laugh before she told you what it was. And she said, I did what you told me. I put my receipts up when you were doing that teaching, and I pulled that receipt out to him and showed him what I had paid and everything was fine. So this is very true. You have got to do something. Now this goes back to organization, because organization and budgeting goes hand in hand. You cannot have receipts and bills and stuff all in drawers and boxes and here and there. People will come back. I have had people to come back months, even in ministry. I had a situation where a person came back and said that we hadn't, was it a year? I don't know how long, but they took us back a year. And I had to prove to them that we had paid them. Now, even though I had this, they had their records saying that we hadn't paid them for a whole year. They said they wanted to go back a whole year. So what they did was they pulled out each date of every week that we owed them because it was set up on a weekly basis, but you could do it by month. But in order to check to make sure we had taken care of for the whole month, they took me back a whole week. Each week I had to prove to them what the amount was we paid and what the check number was for a whole year. We sat down and they took me through that for a whole year. When they got finished, they said, hey, look like I need to owe you all some money and everything. They wanted to make sure we were okay because we could have gotten grieved about that. We could have caught an attitude about that because we know we were faithful payers of it. We believe in that. We believe in that. And we had to go through that. It was one of our stations. I'm not calling any names. I don't want to do that. But we had to make sure that we had everything in place. Now, I had to make sure that only thing Bishop was doing was trusting and believing that I had good records kept and knowing that, hey, we're going to do this thing. And I know we got everything in order. But you had to have some kind of organization. I couldn't be saying.
4:17.
Okay, James 4:17 that says.
James 4:17, therefore to him that knoweth to do good.
Okay, that's the scripture. James 4:17. He that knoweth to do and doeth it not, it is sin to him. Okay? So look that up, read it over, and realize it. Okay? So I couldn't be doing this right here, y'all. Wait a minute. You said June the 12th. Okay. Oh, how much? So. Well, Lord have mercy. Where's the paper here? And these little receipts they give you, sometimes these things fade away. So I don't have time to teach that part, but there's another system that you can get so that your receipts and stuff won't fade away, that you can keep and scan them, that the IRS. One time I had, I'm going to go back. One time I had a situation that I had to send something back to the store. I couldn't find the receipt. I wasn't as organized. So, but I had another organization set up that you could scan the receipt in. Some of you know what they did. Scan the receipt in, and I could go back to that. I printed it out and took it to the store, and they received it. So my point is that you've got to do something about it. You've got to organize, and you've got to make preparation. The bills, where they're going to come in. You went and got some bills out yesterday at the mailbox, and all of them, they're here. One thing that I do, I didn't bring it out here, but I take each bill. Let's see, hold on. Okay, I can't see what I'm looking for. Hold on. Anyway, I take each bill that comes in, and at the top of the bill, I look at it and see when it's due. And at the top on the outside of the envelope, where I stack my bills to be paid, I put up there, and it's a good trick. Yeah, it helps me. I think it'll help anybody, but if it doesn't work for you, then throw it out the window. But I put at the top of the bill when I want to pay that bill. If I want to pay it 7 days, I count 7 days back. And then I put the date up there when I do that. Now, for me, sometimes I go back further because I get busy. I stay busy. I get busy. I stay busy. So I may not want to do it if it's 7 days back. And if I don't do it that day, it may cause a problem. So I may go a couple of days back. But every time I go to my spot, I look up there and I can see the date. I don't have time to pull the bill out, see what the bill is, a light bill. Pull the bill out and see its mortgage. Pull the bill out and see that it's water bill. Pull the bill. I don't have time to pull it out and see what it is. I'm moving too fast, but I've got to keep it in my face. That's why I say keep your bills in a place where it's visible all the time. If you're going to put it in a drawer, be honest and make sure that you're going in that drawer every day. You've got to go in there every day because somebody got sick over here. You got to go in there. The baby got sick. Your grandchild got sick. Now you got to go here. You were expecting to be home, but now you got to run to Durham. Now you got to run to Chapel Hill. Now you got to run to somewhere. You got to drive somewhere to take care and help somebody else. Well, you can't go in that drawer when you come back. It was due the second day. You've been gone 5 days. So you've got to go into a place or find a place where it's visible. So I can see these things every day. Every time I go into this particular area, I see it sticking up. So when I see October, today's the 18th, when I see October the 19th, or I see October the 25th, knowing that, hey, it's coming up. May not be tomorrow that I'll handle it, but if it's got the 25th, then it may not be due to November 1st or whatever. So it's looking at me every day, though. So when I'm getting ready to go and I say, okay, I'm coming, tell the bitch I'm coming and everything, and I'm looking at that particular area, if something's sticking up that says the 19th, and I put it for the 19th, if it's in town or something, I'm going downtown, then I can look at it and see, oh, I better grab that and take it with me and make sure I handle it. Mistake I made was not handling it the night before if I'm writing a check. And sometimes I do that. That's why we're not all perfect. We're hearing everything and makes everything work for all of us. The mistake I make sometimes is trying to grab it and get in the car and write the check out, da-da-da-da-da. Nothing's wrong with doing that, but I don't like to be rushed. And you don't need that extra stress and tension on you. If you left the house with an intention of doing something else, now you got that and that. What I should have done the night before was wrote, and most of the time I do, but sometimes I don't, write the bill out, write the check out, or put the money in there. Take it with you. So you won't have to come all the way back to the house. And I've done that sometimes, right, Bishop? Come all the way back to the house. I said, okay, let's go in there and pay this on. Where's the bill? Oh, my God, I was rushing out. And then you put it on your husband. I said, will you rush me? See, don't I tell you that? I said, when you rush me, I forget things. Realistically, I should have taken care of that the night before, wrote the check out, or put the cash in it, whichever one you're using. And then had that ready. So when he told me we were going downtown to take care of something, I said, okay, let me do this while we're down there. Another thing, to save gas. Yes, I blame him. You don't want to be blamed, men. Don't get married. If you don't want to hear it, men, don't get married. All right. So that's just part of the better or worse. The better or worse. You married for better or worse. Oh, I don't want to hear it, but you have to hear it. So to eliminate that, and it saves you gas to drive all the way back here. We're about 6 miles out of Tarboro. 6 miles down, 6 miles back. That's taking gas that may not have taken a lot of gas. And some of you had an attitude. It ain't going to take that much gas to go here. It ain't going to take that much gas to go there. But when it's time to put gas in your car, then you complain that you don't have no money for gas. Well, you got to realize it takes money to go here and there. So what you need to do, here we go again, organize. And I think I'm going to need next Sunday, but anyway. It's going to take, but this is very important. It takes organization to know when I'm going downtown, I need to handle as much as I can while I'm going in this trip. While I'm going to a city that is 34 miles away, I need to take something. We do that all the time. Oh, you going to Rocky Mountain to take care of something? You going on the station to be live? Let me find what we can do. Let me find out what I can send there that needs to be handled in this area. So it's not wasteful for now you're going, but then 2 days later, we got to go back again. Oh, I got to get in the car and run down here to the post office. Oh, I got to go down here and mail this. Oh, I got to go and do this and that. Then tomorrow, where you at? What you doing? What you doing? Oh, I got to go to the grocery store. You need to make a list for the grocery store and get everything at the beginning of the week so you won't have to go but maybe once a week or every 2 weeks. And doing the cash envelope system, you can't just go in the grocery store every day. Why are you going every day? Well, the children want this. Well, grandma had a taste for this. Well, grandma better smell what's cooking and know, oh, it's pork chop today. Oh, grandma better smell what's cooking and know it's spaghetti today. Oh, grandma better smell what's in my budget and get her mouth or uncle or a grandpa that stays with us, get their mouth ready for what is cooking. You know, our parents raised us like that. You came from outside playing, right? And you came in there and said, I smell some biscuits. I smell some cabbage. Well, cornbread and cabbage. Biscuits don't really go with cabbage. That's another story. It's another preference, too. Oh, I smell meatloaf. Oh, I smell, what else? Hamburgers or whatever. What you smell is what you got. You didn't come in there talking about, I don't want no chicken. I don't want no meatloaf. But see, you like those things, but today you don't have a taste for it. When did your children start controlling what they eat and what they don't eat and what you're going to cook today and what you need to just start telling them. If they say what we're eating tonight, you tell them, I ain't going to change it for you because now I'm not going to give you beets if you don't like beets and you about to throw up beets. I know you don't like that. I'm not going to force a child or a parent or anybody else to eat something they don't like. But if this is a food that they like and enjoy, you decided this works in your budget, I'm not going to run out to the store and get you nothing. You better see. Now, sometimes even with my grandchildren and stuff, we're riding around and I know I only have them for a couple of days or something. I might ask them and stuff, y'all like this? Y'all like this? Y'all like this? Or if I don't feel like cooking and we're in the car and say, you all want to stop by McDonald's? You want to do so-and-so? But if I'm cooking, I may say, oh, you like chicken? You like this? Like that? You want to have that tonight? I may give them a choice because, see, I don't have but a couple of days. But if I had you a week or two, you would have to start smelling what I cook. And I would cook something that you like, of course. I'm not going to cook something that you don't like. But you would just have to say, hey, I don't want that. What's your problem? You don't want that. Do you realize that you're going to go to bed tonight because 11 o'clock, you don't get me up like this an open chef and tell me you hungry because you should have eaten when we ate. Okay? So don't train your children up like that. That's nothing good, even though you have the capability with your cards, and people have stamp cards and all this to purchase all this stuff that they want to purchase and everything, and choose anything they want to purchase. You are training them wrong. You are training whoever is in your household wrong. If there's a special event or something, and I decided to cook here and do what I'm going to do here, I know even my daughter, when she came down to surprise her father and everything, his birthday, and she brought down seafood and all this. I wasn't going, and I still don't go into restaurants right now. And I wasn't going. They wanted to go to Red Lobster, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to a restaurant. So she brought Red Lobster to him because he loves seafood. Hint, hint. Pastor Anniversary Month. Thank you all for blessing us on yesterday. I apologize and sent out something last night to say, I'm sorry if some of you didn't get the message. Some of you didn't get the correct message. So you can do it next week. But this is Pastoral Appreciation Month. Now, you separate the two because Appreciation Month is that everybody is acknowledging and appreciating pastors all over. The difference with us is that we have Pastoral Anniversary in October because that's when Bishop started the ministry. God allowed him to birth Newness of Life Christian Center. So we have Pastoral Anniversary. So we have speakers come in and all that. But this time we didn't because of the pandemic. But that's why we're celebrating Pastoral Anniversary. So people have been cash apping us, and members sowed into our lives. And if you didn't get a chance to do it because there was miscommunication problem, you get to do it next week or today. You can cash app it over at R Determined. Use your Cash App, hit the $ and hit the letter R and determine, and you can do that if you desire to do that. But thank you so much for what you've sown and what you've given. But Bishop's showing me the time. I got to move on. But eliminate that. Don't train your children up. Don't train people up in your house. So she brought the Red Lobster to us. So, but if I had prepared something here already, and I said, oh, well, I've already cooked the dinner. I already got stuff set up. Don't do that. Don't waste your money doing that. That wisdom for her would have been, hey, let me save my money then. No need to bring all that in, and you got food here because you either wasting your food. Of course, I could put it up. But I'm saying going through the trouble and all that, and then you taking your money and spending stuff on something that shouldn't be. So have a schedule, have organization in your house. Know what you're fixing so people won't come in with a big bucket of chicken and you already had baked chicken or steak or something already cooked or meatloaf or chicken or whatever. And they come in with something else. It's like, come on now, there's no organization with this and it's costing money. Okay. I got to move on because the time is going on. We talked about how you need to be honest when you're setting up your budget. And I'm going to run through that real quick. Setting up your budget. See my little thing going on. Okay. Okay. And it's not stopping, y'all. Okay. Let's see. Okay. This gives you a chance to look through your notes. I always tell Newness of Life like that. Let's give you a chance to look through your notes. Let's do something about that now. I always tell you with electronics, when all else fails, shut it down and it'll stop. So it'll stop in a few minutes. We told you that when you're being honest with yourself and you're setting up your budget, make sure that your spouse is in agreement and not pulling on you. We said, here we go. Budgeting is a tracking system. I'm leaving the organization now because I hope you got that together. Just organize your life, organize your bills, organize your time, schedule your time for tomorrow so that nobody can come in and fit in or try to fit into your schedule and you don't really have the time, causing you frustration and money possibly too. So now we're going to talk about budgeting. Budgeting what is a tracking system and a systematic way of spending your money. There's no way that you can ever prosper and have money extra or increase if you don't do something about your money. The money that's in my wallet is scheduled. It's hid. A certain amount is hid from me. A certain amount is for change for books. A certain amount just won't go in there, period. I have so many that cards I take, different things I take with me. I schedule my time. I schedule and I take out intentionally things that possibly would cause me to spend because I have that availability. We don't have bills, excess bills on us and stuff. So I have that availability to buy anything that I want to buy at this particular time. Credit name is set up that if I don't have the money, I can sign for it. We can get it on credit or we can purchase it. But just because you can do a thing does not mean it's feasible at that time to do that. It's not acceptable. It's not wisdom to do that. Expedient, Bishop said. Now, wisdom. Listen to what wisdom is. Wisdom is knowledge that is gained by having many experiences in life. Wisdom. Okay? So you had the experience of not having enough. Now you're getting information being fed from experiences that we've acquired, other people have taught. You hear different teachings of Les Brown and all these people. It's coming from experiences in life. That's why I said everything you're going through, most of the things, except I have never stolen anything or done anything like that. But on one occasion where, I hate to say stealing, but that's what I actually did with tithes. Early in my youth of being saved, when I was living in Reeseville, I don't think we were married then. We were married then. Well, you couldn't do anything about it because you're way down here. But anyway, I was living in Reeseville before we got married. We got married, and then I had to finish out my teaching position that I had down there. And he was here and I was there, and we just, got together on weekends and stuff. But I didn't want to just quit the job. I wanted to finish out. We got married in February, and I wanted to finish out March, April, May of the school year, 3 months. So, and then we had to get an apartment, do all that. So, I knew about tithing. I told you, know to do and don't do it is sin. And I knew about, and I was doing it. But this particular time, I don't know what happened. It was a long time ago, 30-some years ago. But I got the money, and I said, I'm not going to send it. You didn't have ministry then. It was, we were under your bishop. I said, I'm not sending my tithes down there this time. I'm going to hold my tithes and do it. And I lost them. That money that I was going to keep, I stole it from God. And then something stole it from me. I lost it. I don't know if I threw it in the trash can. I don't know what I did with it, but I lost it. That's what I'm saying. You are losing money. If you're stealing from God, you are losing money. It's going to go and your bike bill going to go crazy or your car going to act up. It ain't got nothing to do with the devil. You did this. When you steal tithes and you run into situations that's pulling your money, even this week, we had to put out money for a battery, right? I think the battery was $150-some. And when he left, I said, ain't no battery $150-some. No battery cost $60-some. He like, what kind of battery you talking about? This a big car. It was in our Hemi. It was in a big car, and the car battery was big for the Hemi. So it was $150-some. Then one of the windows that we had wouldn't roll up the way it's supposed to roll. You had to pull it up. Well, I said, what do y'all tell me? Y'all got enough money. Y'all got all these problems. Well, any car you drive, after you drive it long enough, it's going to need a battery. I was talking to somebody yesterday. They had to have a battery. As long as you're driving it, and their car is newer than mine. So we have a 2001 and a 2006. These cars are 18 years old. But why would I go out and buy a car if I'm trying to live at another level to be in the area of budgeting to save? Why would I go get an expensive car? I would either have to pay cash with it, which we could if we wanted to, but that would be stupid to me because cars are out here, or I would have to get in a loan debt to get it. Why would I just buy a battery? Then the car window, it took $170 to fix that. Where you looking at what? About $400? $400 compared to $40,000 or $30,000 on the car. And that's crazy because some people, when they start having car problems, we need a new car. We need a new car. Don't you know a new car is a new payment? Don't you know a new car is higher taxes on that? Don't you know a new car, the newer it is, the insurance is higher? Come on. So why would we do that? So we needed $150-some for that. We need $170 for the window. And then something had happened to my tooth. I didn't know if I'm going to be able to teach that. And I've got to have some work done on that. And it's going to cost $1,000. So Bishop don't have time to, I don't know what kind of thing. And see, a lot of people think, I laugh, but then it kind of irritates me sometimes because when we're trying to get a book in their hands, like this book, Deaf and Need to Understand. So many people are dying now, and we try to get this $5 book into their hand. I keep putting it on my story. I keep telling people call for it. We try to do everything we can. This other book that he wrote, Long Distance Runner, Running to Receive the Prize, telling you about being a long distance runner. And this book about deaf people are dying, and people keep telling you about people dying, but they don't want to put the book in their hands before the person dies. And then this is the witnessing tool because in the book too is sharing with you, making sure that you can witness to the person and get them saved because death is evident. It's coming. It's coming. So instead of just hearing about who died, did you know this one died? Did you know that one died? The person, the families need to understand about death. You hear what I'm saying? So you have an answer to them. These young people need to know when their friends are dying, they need to have an understanding so nobody will tell them that God is doing this. That's a lie. And we need to stop these lies. I don't care what preacher said it. You got to still stand with the word of God. And God cannot say he gives life, but then he takes life too. So you need to get this little $5 book. Both of them together is just $18. You go and eat. You'll go and eat that today. You'll go to Applebee's or somewhere and spend more than that today. So you need to have an answer. The Bible says you need an answer for man. You need an answer. So this will tell them about death so they won't be so distraught and think. That's why they won't get saved, because they're saying God took my mom, and then he took my aunt, and then he took my granddaddy. They don't want to serve anybody like that. So in order to witness to them correctly, you need to have some knowledge. And he intentionally, now these books are larger. This one is a little more pages, and that's why different prices for different books. And this one right here was intentionally, see, it's not that long. It was intentionally done that way. He wanted to do it that way so that you wouldn't take 12 months to read it, 6 months to read it. You could go through this in an hour or less. Sometimes it takes people longer because they realize that, hey, I want to study it. I just don't want to read through it, and that's all. So my reason of saying that is because they need to know why death occurred and have an understanding of, so you can witness to that. So with budgeting and all of this, I lost my thought. What was I saying? You don't know, do you? Yeah, the books this was my point. When you got so much information, you can lose your thought. He does an excellent job when I'm shooting your names up there to say, oh, good evening, so-and-so, good you watching. Because I would probably lose my thought if I had to look to see what y'all was saying or whatever. But because he's excellent at that, he's expert at that. I'm not. I'm just assisting and helping. But he's better at it. But my reason for saying that is because when we have the books, I know we had to put, I was saying $1,000 out for the tooth and $400 for that. If we hadn't budgeted, or if I don't have it in the budget, then we're going to have to do that. When the person told me about my tooth, they were saying, well, you can do half and then save up for the other half. That's the attitude they had. They look at you like, you don't have $1,000 to take care of this bill. We automatically know you don't. So we're going to give you a chance. I'm ready to get my tooth done and fit. We're going to give you a chance to save up. I'm like, I didn't say anything because that's none of their business whether I have it or not. So when you're in a position and you have it, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. I don't have to prove anything to them. I take advantage of the system. They got it set up that you can do half and half. I don't have to run my mouth and talk about, oh, I don't have to have half. I can just take care of the whole thing. Well, of course, they're going to take it then. But why would you do that when you can do half and just enjoy the freedom or the availability of being able to pay half and half. Hey, I ain't got to shoot out 1,000 at one time. I just give them 5, then give them 5 later on. In case they mess up something, then I'm going to say you ain't getting the other 5. But my reason of saying that and giving you that information is because a lot of times you run into people and we talk about these books and they act like we're trying to sell these to take care of my tooth. I'm giving you an example. Or say these because we had a battery problem. So now we talking about the books. Before these books are printed up, before these books even go out of our house to the publisher, we have to pay the money for publishing them. They have not even received the book. We have to give them hundreds of dollars before they even print it. We have already paid for them. Then once they go out and they start printing it up, getting the cover done and all this stuff, we have to make sure that, hey, now we've got to know how many pages, how much is the book going to cost. And then we have to have money ahead of time to order them. They don't order the books and say, okay, now Bishop, when you sell so many, then send the money to us. It doesn't work like that. Not with the companies that we deal with. Now maybe you have another company, put it down there. We'll listen to it. But the companies that we work with don't do that. Money up front or no books. Money up front or we're not going to even bother our printers about that. So we're not trying to, every time he holds up these books, he didn't tell me to say that. But this still showing you how organization is important. Every time he holds up this book, it's for information for you because they are already paid for in advance. So we run into people and say, oh, I'll support it. We ain't out here peddling books. Well, I'll support you. No, this information is for you. You're not supporting anything. If you want to say that you're supporting the kingdom, then that's fine. But you didn't give the money to the kingdom. You gave it to us. So you're saying, Bishop, oh, yeah, I'm paying. I cannot pay for this information. But the price that you put on this book, little $12.95, oh, man, I can do that. I eat that up. I buy that in games and stuff. See, people have different priorities. That's why I say you have to prioritize. So we're not peddling books or trying to push information on you. And he does it better than I, because I get tired of people doing that. And sometimes I stop and say, you're not supporting us. These books have already been paid for. We're trying to get the information to you. And I want to say move on, because my patience is running thin then. Move on, because you don't want the information. You think you paying, getting the book to help us out, which really, you're not helping us out. It's getting information to you. So you have to have an understanding. Maybe we need to write a book about I need to understand while we selling books. Anyway, so amazingly, people in, what time is it? Okay, 11:15 was an hour. I know 11:15 was an hour. So now I'm doing hour 15. And because I'm not coming back next week, I don't think I am. I'm trying to get it in, all in. I know I didn't do the envelope system, but this part was important because I was contemplating doing the envelope system at first, but God wanted me to share this right here because this is very important, because a lot of people are losing information this way and stuff. So amazingly, we were taught to get a job. People push us to get a job. Our parents tell us you got to get out here and get a job. But because no one has taught you at a young age, or even pushing them to organize your money, to save your money, to prioritize your money, to set up a budget, people are coming in houses with their check, going upstairs, laying down, laying up, eating, not having money to even give to the house. We try to get our daughter to move back home sometimes, and I tell the people, oh, well, she wouldn't stay here. She doesn't even want to stay here if she did move back to this area, but she doesn't want to move back to this area. But your child shouldn't want to come back to live with you, unless there's a dire situation, but to live with you and then just be in your house and not pay anything. Not contributing to the light bills that they leave on, the lights and water and all that stuff. They need to contribute something, because you're raising them wrong. You're raising them to think, hey, you can get a check and have no bills, and you can go out and eat, and you can run and go on trips, and you can do all this stuff. And because your check is your check. What's up with that? That's wrong teaching. That's wrong training. That's wrong training of your boys. They're going to become men. That's going to be somebody's husband. This is wrong raising of your children. They're going to make some lousy husbands, because they're going to expect the woman to do everything now. Now they want the woman to pay the bills. You pay the bills. You got some money, don't you? How dare a man ask a woman, you got some money, don't you? Well, you asked me to marry you. You asked me to come into your life, be a part of your life. You're supposed to take care of me. If I don't have a job, you better go to McDonald's, cut grass. Bitch, don't have no job. Go to McDonald's, cut grass, be out there giving out that tea, whatever you got to do to support. Because I'm not going out there doing all that, because you're the head of the household. Okay? So we have to be taught about how to budget the money, how to budget and save, and be able to be a good steward of what God has given us. Now, oh my goodness. Let me ask you this particular question. I have so much. Okay. Do you know this? Huh?
Come back next week.
Come back next week?
Yeah, just come back.
No, I want to ask them this right here. Let me give you this little, here are my glasses. I tell you, my reading glasses. If you see the little glare up there, don't laugh at my glasses and stuff, because the little thing up there. Okay. This is what you need to know. And I want you to go back. Don't try to write all this stuff down, but just listen to it and go back, because you can't write but so fast. How many bills do you actually have a month? Do you know this? This is part of organization, and this is part of budgeting. Do you know how many bills you have monthly? Some people say, oh, in my head, I just got this, got that. That's still not organization, because now you don't know when they're coming in, when to pay them, if they go up, what you're going to do, because you haven't budgeted. In the summer months, when your light bill is lower, when you have to do fans and you don't have to burn AC as much, and you're not burning the high light bill, you need to save up, anticipating, here we go, organization, anticipating winter. Winter is going to cost you more. I don't care what door you close, what vents you shut off, it's going to cost you more, because they're making you pay for all these Christmas lights and all these decorations and all this stuff, and they're going to make you pay for that. So you have to have organization. So how many bills do you have monthly? Next, do you have to pay bills with someone else? There's someone else in your house that you have to pay bills with. You have roommates sometimes. Do you have to pay bills with someone else? Now, is it your spouse, your roommate, or relative? Now, next, how many active credit cards do you have? Take my time. Take my time, he said. Okay. How many? Who said?
All of the same.
Come back next week. How many active credit cards do you have? Why am I talking about this or asking you these questions? Because if you don't know this, you can't organize this and you can't prioritize this. Okay? How many active credit cards do you have? Okay?
You need to stop and just come back next week.
Okay. Let me finish this one right here,
Go
though.
through those questions.
Okay. The next one. Do you know the total amount owed on these cards? Now, the reason I'm asking you is because sometimes people only know the amount that they're supposed to pay for that card this particular month. But they don't know the balance of the card. They don't know the interest that's coming up on these cards. The card is for $1,200. Only thing you're paying is $40 a month. Or if you're paying $115 a month on a card. Well, actually, it depends on the interest they're charging you. You may not be paying but $50, but you gave them $115. Come on now. We're going to get into that when we talk about when you're setting up your budget. And a lot of times people teach that you're supposed to pay these. I think Dave Ramsey, somebody does a snowball effect, and it talks about how you need to pay the smaller bills up and then put the money. I don't teach that. If that works for you, that's good. I believe in paying and getting rid of that high bill that has the most interest on it. Because while you're trying to save up per month, 3 and 4 months to pay off these other bills and then pay on the higher bill, you wasted those months when you could have put more money on the high bill. Now, what you've got to go through, it says, do you know the total amount owed on these cards? You've got to find out what kind of interest is on these high cards versus the lower cards. If you have a card that only has interest of maybe $10, $5, you owe whatever per month, and then the interest is $5 and something. Why would you waste money and messing with that and let that bother you when it's only $3, $4, $5 interest compared to this other one that's $2,000, that's $1,500, and the interest is 20, 25, 30 something percent? You got to get that bad boy out of your life. So you don't run from it. Don't run from your bill. Some people don't even open up their mail. Come on now. You got to open up your mail. Be excited about it. Face that enemy straight ahead. It's not a devil. I don't want to say face that devil, but it is an enemy to you. But you have opened up the door for it by going out and spending money that you don't have. Okay. Next, do you use checks, cash, or credit card when handling day-to-day activities? Do you have a habit of just swinging that card out? If I need some gas, I need breakfast, I need lunch, I need dinner, I need my feet done, I need my hair done. Just swinging it out. That false power. I thought you said you were low on cash. I thought you said you needed some money. You don't have enough money. You paid your bills. Okay. Now, do you know the amount of debt you want to eliminate out of your life? We used to always say, I think they were doing it Benny Hinn one time where somebody was saying, know how much debt you're in. Because you never know when the Lord may speak to somebody and say, hey, I did that one time. I was like, how much do you owe? And people, I don't know. We were in a teaching session I was doing at a church, and the Lord allowed me to start writing out. He directed me to prepare for a particular person that was in this church to write a check out to bring them totally out of debt. They decided they wouldn't come to church that day. They didn't come at all. So I can't give money. I'm not going to say send this check to them. But they didn't come, so then he turned it around and allowed me to start writing out checks. Y'all know it down there. Say amen. Start writing out checks to people in the audience, and some of them were newness of life, and they were glad they were there. Writing out checks for cable, writing out checks for utilities, writing out checks to help them with their mortgage, help them with their rent. Just writing out checks. So I'm saying, if you don't know, I'm in $120,000 worth of debt. I'm in this. I'm talking about your house. I'm talking about your bills and expenses that you have, because a house is a long-term goal that you eventually get there, but you don't want to keep pouring in a lot of money into your house and talking about you putting $500-$600 extra in your payment when you got these other bills over here that's pulling on you. So we know that's a long-term goal that you're going to get to, but you got to get these smaller things out of your life first. Okay. Now, do you know the amount of debt you want to eliminate out of your life? Do not include your house. I said that. And then add 2 more things to that. Before this year is out, are there 2 bills that you can get rid of? Are there 2 goals that you want to meet? Not necessarily bills, but you can say, hey, I'm going to start the cash envelope system. Then you can say, okay, I'm going to eliminate taking my credit card with me everywhere. I'm going to just put enough money in if I have to get gas. Or you might say, hey, I listened to you this morning and I'm going to organize better. I'm going to organize my time. That's one thing. And then I'm going to organize not going to the grocery store anytime I feel like it. Because every time you go to the grocery store, not many people can do this. Every time you go to the grocery store to get bread and some sandwich meat or bread and some mayonnaise or bread and something else, come out with just that. Because you're always going to see them having sales. You're always going to see them having things. And you're going to end up with all this stuff, okay, that you can pay for, but now it messes with your other money. Are they having some questions up there you looking at? Or? Okay, comments. Okay, and I'm going to look at those. So put some comments down there. Tell me if you got some questions about something. So I'm going to do, I guess, one more since I didn't get to the envelope system. Hang in there, though. I'm just going to really do one more session that's going to be the end of the month. So I'm going to do one more session, and I'm going to jump in here, and I'm going to start off with the envelope system. Now, there's so many sessions that you can go to and different things that you can go to look at yourself about envelope system. And what I'm sharing with you is not going to be anything different. I guess some people just wanted to actually see it. So if they had a question up there, they could actually talk to me and put some things in order. But choose 2 things that you want to eliminate these last 2 months of going into the next year. Now, I got to stop. I don't know how to stop because I have so much information here that I wanted to give you. But hopefully, I know I can't keep you here all day, but I have taught finance sessions that I have taught 2 and 3 hours at a time, gave you a lunch break and came back. So that's in me like that. So I got to know when to stop with this short session like this. I know you got to finish out your Sunday and you got to get, he told me to do it tonight at 6 o'clock. Now I don't want to take the whole Sunday. And hopefully you've heard something to get you excited about next year budgeting. I'm going to go right into, I've got all this stuff. I've got ways to save. And then even last night, I found the site. I want to show you you need something like, hopefully you can see that. Can they see that up there? The calendar that you like this. Can you see it now? Can you see it now? A calendar that you can write your bills down on. This stuff doesn't take going out and doing money. If you got a computer or something, you can have this to put your bills and things on. And then ways to save. I wanted to share that with you. How you can save $1,000, not this year, but how you can save $1,000. And you see, I did my 1,000 for the year of 2019, pandemic or not, because this allows you to mark off what you want to do that particular time. If you want to do $7 or $25 or $2, Sister Teresa showed that to me. But I found the site last night that actually gave me the money saving chart. I think my daughter likes this. She's excited about this. So this is the money saving chart that will allow you to have $1,000 in 2021. So what you can do is set that up and have that money to the side. And then 2021, by the end of the year, next year, you can have $1,000 set to the side. And if you want to say, hey, I do big Christmas, I want to pay off a bill, whatever you want to do with that 1,000 for taxes on your house or whatever, and so much stuff we need to cover. But this will be good to have. Now, if you email me at Reesie Sharpe at yahoo.com, I will send this to your email and then you can print it out. ReeSie SHARPE at yahoo.com. Just email me and say, I want the money saving chart. And I saved it last night to my computer so I could just shoot it to you. So it's called the money saving chart. Okay. And it allows you to save $1,000 a year. I did want to get that in there before and then I've got another one, how you can save $1 a day and just different things that I've got here. But it's Reesie, ReeSie SHARPE at yahoo.com. If you email me and say, all you got to do is say, I want the money saving chart, and I'm going to shoot it back to you. And then you can print it out or keep it in your computer or phone or whatever. And this will allow you to be able to save $1,000 a year. And just so much other stuff I wanted to share with you, and I can't. So I don't apologize for what I said before, because I was led to kind of do that first before going into that. And time just has me locked in. I had, with the Cash App system, wanted to tell you how to go to the bank and everything. But next week will be the end of the month, the Sunday, and then it will allow you to go into the month of November heads on, and you'll be able to have November and December some kind of handle. What I'm trying to do now is not bring you out and make you do everything. I'm trying to show you different avenues of when you get ready to walk into 2021. Some of the things that you can have to walk in with a better understanding, some tools that you'll need, the banks. I ordered two banks on this week for somebody. This thing heavy. Not a bank like this, but the ATM bank that I have. Where is it? Here it is right here. The ATM banks, someone wanted that for their child or their children. And so this bank has...
Are we saving?
Saving. There's one back there too. And we intentionally go through sometimes and give them bills so we can get change back. Because I'm not going to use this. I don't have time to go through here. I need $1. I need $10. Who's going to count all these quarters? So we intentionally do that. I show stuff like this to make sure. See, this is the little banks. Wait to the ATM. So you, that's the demo to it. And then this one is when you put your, okay. So she's talking to you. Watch your savings grow. So you can get a bank like this and put the, you can withdraw your money in there. You can put coins in there, dollars in there. Or you can get a little bank like this because you've got to have something set up. So now it's gone. So it has a little ATM card that you can put in there. And it says, welcome Reesie. Put my PIN number in there. And then when I do that, then they'll open up and this little door come open and I can see what I have there. But before then, I can't really see it. I can pull it up and see what the balance is, but I can't really see it. I can't really see in here. With this one that shows change, I don't want to know, mess with that because I'm not going to count that. And then some other things that I have, another bank. But they wanted the bank for to start their grandchildren off. So you need something set up. You need some avenues of saving and all this stuff. And I'll get back with it next week. And I'll finish next week. I'm going to be done next week. Put your questions down there and I'll try to cover that. He's laughing because it actually takes a lot of time that I don't have and that's not my fault. So, we're closing now. Oh man, the loans and medical bills and all the stuff I wanted to share with you. I can't get to it, all in one day, all in 1 hour. So thank you so much for tuning in, to the Newness of Life Christian Center, airing today. We appreciate you. Thank you for Newness of Life. Again, blessing us, sowing into our lives for Pastoral Anniversary. If you would like to be a blessing to Newness of Life, we are here every Tuesday at 7:30. Bishop is teaching Bible study. He's here on Thursday at 7 o'clock with Sharpe Points program. And that starts at 7. And then at 10:15 every Sunday. We're here while the pandemic is going on. No, we have not gone back into our church. The numbers keep rising. Every time we set a date, the numbers rise again. We have different members that have gone through COVID-19 and came out on top. Thank God for them. We praise God for that they came through it. We believe that if you have been attacked with that spirit, that you will come through it and on top. A lot of times just because you get it, you don't have to go through all these dramatic dreams and terrible pains and all that. Some people go have a mild case of it. Any case of it is bad. And we are saddened by the families that have lost loved ones and bishops and people that we know that are losing their lives to it. So we're trying to be very careful. We're listening and waiting for the leader to hear from God, when to go back. But because people are disobedient and don't want to wear their mask, then it causes us to be thrown back as a community, as a state, as a nation. And that's why you see the numbers going up. Isn't it amazing how people put things on the devil? And we know that he is the author and the cause of sickness and disease. But some things we can control. So we can control the mask and washing our hands. But people don't, because we have a leader also that doesn't want to listen and obey. So with that, we encourage you to vote. Make sure that you vote. Now, it would be sad to be around the house after the election complaining about Trump in office, complaining about Biden in office, whatever, however you want to complain. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I'm saying don't be around the house complaining if you have done nothing. You are the cause of the problem. If you don't vote, you're part of the problem. If you're too lazy to get out and vote, you're part of the problem. You may not like this one or that one, but they're giving you a choice. You have to choose. Too many people died, been beat, hosed down, dogs on them, everything. So just terribly treated. So we would have the freedom to vote. And then you sit there and say, I'm not going to vote because I don't like either one. You must choose. One of them has to be better than the other one, or you're satisfied with what's going on. You have to choose. Vote. Don't be lazy. Vote. Think about somebody else besides yourself. Other people need a change. These things are going on, and we need a change. So I don't know who you're going to choose. I don't know what's going to happen after the choice is made. But what I do know is it's in God's hand. We still have to trust God to guide us, to lead us, to make decisions, to provide for us. We don't put our trust in the government. God, again, like he's saying, is our source. Okay? So vote, vote, vote. Now, if you want to be a blessing to Newness of Life Christian Center, we want you to send all checks or money orders to Newness of Life Christian Center, Post Office Box 1462, Tarboro, North Carolina, zip code 27886. Again, the address is Newness of Life Christian Center, P.O. Box 1462, Tarboro, North Carolina, zip code 27886. Mail your check or money order. If you're trying to give something to us, make sure your money order or check is written out to Bishop Van Sharpe or Van Sharpe, so we will know the difference, because sometimes people don't have Cash App, and that's the only way they want to give to us. But you have to make sure you don't put Newness of Life up there and say, Bishop, that was for you, because we will not take it. Everything that's written for the church goes to the church. So be a blessing to Good Ground. We're a ministry that's good ground. Anytime we say we're debt free, we don't have a lot of things, that's because we've been good stewards over our finances and been good stewards and taking care of things. But it's good ground. It is not good ground for somebody that just throws away money, non-tithers. They don't oversee their finances. They're a waster, the Bible talks about. So that's not good ground. So if you're always giving, always lending, always putting your money into them, your money's not going to come back to you, because that wasn't good ground. You put good seed into bad ground, it's not going to come up. It's going to take a lot of work. And then when it comes up, it's not going to be strong in what it could be. So if you want to bless the ministry, you can do it that way. Now, technology-wise, you can download the Give Plus Church app, and you can type in Newness of Life Christian Center, or you can type in 27886. When you do that, Newness of Life Christian Center pops up, and you can give that way. Download the Give Plus Church app, and you can type in Newness of Life Christian Center and type in 27886, or type in 27886, and it's going to pop up. And you can give that way. You can give a one-time gift, or you can give a weekly offering, or do your tithes, or whatever you want to do, whatever's blessing you. And or you can set it up monthly, however it's done, and you can give that way. So Newness of Life Christian Center, we appreciate those who have given theirs on yesterday and those who did theirs through the app. If you have not done it, correct it, get on top of it. Stop talking about you didn't have time. Go ahead and get that in today. We do it on Saturdays and Sundays. Make sure you go ahead and get that in. I appreciate those who use the app that do theirs on Saturday or Sunday. That makes it easy for the ministry. And you've already taken care of that, took care of business, and you are fine. Okay, so use the app, download the Give Plus Church app, and then sow that way. Okay, if you want to be a blessing to us, again, this is pastoral anniversary month for us. It's a pastor appreciation for everyone, but for us, it's anniversary time. And again, we didn't have the big anniversary that we usually have that call pastors in and do all that. And they're a blessing to us and minister us and encourage us. But the ministry, you wanted to do something for us anyway, and we appreciate that. All of them need to do that. All pastors need to allow people to sow into them this month. Don't let the pandemic stop what you're doing or stop your schedule of blessing. None of that's going to happen, and we appreciate the ministry that wants to do that and have continued to do that. So we thank you yesterday for doing what you did. If you forgot it, didn't hear the information, then just do it next week or Cash App it. If you want to Cash App us to be a blessing, if you want to Cash App us to say happy anniversary, pastoral anniversary. If you want to Cash App us, I got some money the other day, $100. Somebody sent over and said, "Oh, Bishop, we didn't get your birthday. We didn't know it, but you are such an awesome man of God, and we appreciate you. So on this special day, we want to bless you." So they cashed app $100 over. So if you want to do that, go to your Cash App, type in the $, and type in the letter R and the word determined. R determined, DETERMINED. Again, the Cash App sign, the letter R, and the word determined. And put down there, it's a love gift, birthday, pastoral anniversary, whatever you want to give. And we appreciate it very much. Again, Cash App, I hate that part of it, that it won't allow you to talk to the person. It just, unless there's a way to do that. If y'all know how to do that, then tell me at the bottom. But it just allows you to put a heart or a thumbs up or a smiley face, little symbols like that. But it doesn't allow you to talk back to the person. But we want you to know every dime, every dollar, everything you've given to us. Some of you just shoot 25 over and say, I just appreciate you. This is a love gift. We thank you so much. I can only send you the heart or the thumbs up, but we want to say out of our mouths, from our heart, that we appreciate everything that you do. Thank you so much for listening. I have to go. I'm not cooking cornbread today. I blessed someone last week, but I got to pull back and not cooking today. I think we're going to do steak today and potatoes or something simple, but I'm not doing cornbread. So that person that loves my cornbread, I'm not coming your way today. I did that last week just because I love to enjoy it, to see people eating. I love to cook. But you have an awesome day today. Go back and hear this teaching. If it went too fast for you, go back and hear this teaching. I'm going to be here next week. Next week, make sure you have some tools with you so you can write stuff down. Go ahead and email me for that sheet so you can have that and get started at the beginning of the year. Enjoy your Sunday. You've done good by being here, listening to the word. Relax and enjoy yourself, but don't spend a lot of money that you don't have. Don't spend a lot of money that you don't have to spend, okay? Thank you for watching. I love you. I love my church family. Thank you so much. Continue to pray for us, and we will pray for you. And see you next week. Bye.